Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. What I'm going to show you today is a safety demonstration from a local utility company where they talk about some of the dangers that they face in their jobs with working with high voltage electricity and how it can affect us as well. Some of the things that we need to be aware of when if you ever come upon a power line that's down, that sort of thing. It's just some practical knowledge that they were sharing that I thought that I would record and post a video of. Anyways, please rate the video, give it a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it, and just let me know what you think.
And I put a weight on it because I love to fish. One day I was practicing my casting and that line went over that three-phase line. And I was jerking on it. I didn't know what it was. Hell, I was 9, 10 years old. And when I jerked it just right, all of a sudden sparks started flying. Hell, this is cool. I'm lucky to be alive. I swear to God, I'm lucky to be alive. The Lord had another plan for me, and it may have been this. But I did that for 4 or 5 weeks in a row until I burned all the string line up, because every time it pulled it together, it melted down so far, I had time to wait. And said, "What'd you do with all your line?" "Well, I showed him." Hell, he whooped my ass. Damn, he whooped my ass. But anyway, that's one of the reasons I do this for idiot kids like me. So flyer in there, brother. You never know when something's being conducted. As that line goes across that phase of neutral, he's closing in a circuit. You will not get electrocuted if you don't complete a circuit. Don't be a kid in the tree grabbing the line. Electricity will only flow if you have 2 potentials. It's going to flow from one potential to another, to that light and back, across that line, through the ground. Birds? Yeah, let's talk about birds. Yes. Where'd it go? There you go. Thank you. This transformer right here, it's a ground potential. We're all at ground potential. Line's line potential. Now, I said a while ago, that power, it just wants to go back to its source. And that's true. But it will use every path it can take. Electricity is so smart. When I first started working for this stuff, I really didn't realize how smart it was. This overhead shed up here, we come out here, cows get shocked because somebody bonded a neutral and a ground together. And they can feel so many more things than we do. That's the whole reason. We want current to return to its source on its intended path and not others. And anytime we circumvent that path and create another one or create a circuit outside of the intended path, that's when we die, get hurt, or something else gets hurt. That bird, he's sitting there on that grounded can, no problem. No problem at all. But if he were to turn around and peck at 7,200 with his ass on that can, he just blowed all his little feathers off. And his little pecker went flying through the air, and now he's cooked and ready to eat. Squirrels, it doesn't matter.
Mine feel hot, I think.
I don't know. The lights went out in my house, so surely that line out there, it's got to be dead. If the lights go off, power's got to be off the line. I don't know. Let's see. Lights go off, power's dead. No power on the line. Right? See, we blew a fuse on the secondary circuit. The 120 volt side. We didn't blow a fuse on the 7200 volt side. And that is just because the lights are off in this building or any other building you're in, doesn't mean that line's dead. We had a fire truck fire guy, volunteer firemen up in Ohio County, their radios went dead and they were responding to an accident. Car hit a pole up on Highway 69 up in Ohio. Firemen? Anybody? Not one? If you ever come upon a car wreck or you're in a car wreck and power lines are down, and that device doesn't always operate. This kind of looks like that. Yeah, go ahead. And it's what we call a breaker. It's just like a breaker in your house, but it's multiple shots. It's hydraulically driven. It operates on a certain amount of current, and if it sees a fault, it will open and it will close. During a storm, your lights go off, off. What in the hell are they doing? Typically, it's a breaker that's operating. It'll go through 3 or 4 shots, depending on what we call its curve. And then if the fault's still there, it will open. We got to come and find the problem. The fuses we're blowing, exactly the way they are. They're rated at different currents, whether it be 20 amps, 30 amps, 40 amps. But that breaker, it may open or close depending on that line being down and how dry it's been. If that line has been, if the ground's been dry like we had a couple of summers ago, that line will lay there for a day. It'll lay across the tree 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And that breaker will look at it as low. There's not enough fault current, as we call it, to make the breaker operate. So if you're ever come upon something like this, the best thing you can do is stay in the car. A long time ago, there was a guy called Faraday. He built a metal cage. He put himself inside of it. There was a guy called Tesla who created a coil that would shoot off a large amount of electricity or lightning bolt, so to speak. This guy got in the cage, towed the lightning bolt to it, electricity passed around his body. As long as we're in most of our vehicles today, yeah, those tires are going to probably smoke a little bit and pop a little bit, but your safest place is in that car. Everybody's got a cell phone today. And if you call 911 or you come up on something and you call 911, please let the dispatcher know that power lines are down. We don't automatically know when the line goes down. We don't automatically know when your lights are out. Now, if we lose a large substation breaker, 5,000 or 6,000, yeah, we do have radio communications to our substations. But anything out on the line, we don't. So we don't know. So if you come up, tell that person to stay in the car. You stay in the car. Because that's the best place for you. Now granted, if the car's on fire, you say, hell, old fat man told me to stay in here. I'm going to burn up and die if I don't get out. Remember this, you will not get electrocuted or shot if you do not complete a circuit. So how do I keep from doing that? Wires on the car, don't touch the car and the ground at the same time. Because if that power's down, every one of our poles has a piece of copper, number 6, running down it from the neutral down to the earth. And that's there for lightning protection. We got to give, lightning hits that pole, we got to give it a path to go into the earth. But the electricity coming from the substation going down that line, it will also go down that line. If that neutral's broke, it will travel through the earth up that next piece of copper so it can get back on its intended path and go back to the sub. So electricity will be traveling through the earth. So you touch the car, it's at line potential, you're at ground potential. You now may have given that fault current a path to go back to that copper wire. Don't touch the car and the ground at the same time. But if you have to exit the car, put your feet together, stand on the rocker panel, lines down on the passenger side, exit on the driver's side, vice versa. Go parallel away from the line. If the line's running like this, you go this way. Because that power is going to be going through the earth looking for that next pole if part of it's on the ground. Feet together. And either hop or hop. Bless his heart. Bless her heart. That's Pearl. Or if you're an old fat man like me, shuffle your feet. You got to keep them together. You've got to keep your feet at one potential. Just like throwing a rock in a pond, when lightning strikes the earth, it's going out in ripples, and that power may be flowing in waves to that next pole. And if you step from the car, run from the car, step. Got your plugs today, didn't we? You guys like me look like most of you know, we didn't always have microwave popcorn. We used to have cookie and skin or pan with a little butter and oil. So George poured in some corn in her hopper there. Chris is gonna pull that line in, and this don't always work, and it usually takes about 3 times to get enough heat down to the corn, and it's gonna come back out the other end. We hope. Let's see what kind of heat we got. If we don't trip a breaker off somewhere, dim our lights out. Yeah, that's hot. What, you do anything, Brother Dog? Oh, hell, come on. The lights go plumb out when Chris pulls into that altar. All that fault current's flowing through, back down the ground. Let's get some corn. I'm hungry. See what we got. We got it. I believe that shit. Some of y'all might be good Christian folks, and I am too, but every once in a while, if somebody runs up to you and says, "Man, you ain't gonna believe this," usually you ain't. Guys, I throwed out some conductors here, and every bit of this wire.
In the video, you've certainly seen some very interesting things that your utility company workers face, some of the dangers that they face, as well as some of the potential dangers that we can face. Once again, if you come upon any type of a situation where there are downed power lines, don't assume that those lines have no charge or any power source. Always assume the worst with them. Call 911 immediately. Keep everyone back. Just use some good common sense when it comes to approaching, or any type of electrical lines. Just, the best thing to do is stay away from them. But anyways, I hope that you like the video, and please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment. I really appreciate it. Thanks. And visit my blog at systemcontroltech.com.